And it was just everywhere. Actually, in the late '70s as well, it was just everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. 70s were also.
I learned the hard way that it's.
Did you do cocaine in every decade?
That's a yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So do you remember?
No, actually,
Not 2020.
That's 20.
No. Well, I'll tell you one story about my transition from because I speak freely of the fact I haven't drank any alcohol since 1990.
Oh wow! Congratulations, man.
So
That's
definitely
awesome.
No coke since the 90s.
Since the 90s, yeah.
Well, I'm California sober.
Ah, my man.
You know what that is?
I just found that out a couple of days ago. What that was too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm California sober,
Yeah.
California.
except for meth.
Because I
He ignored that.
I enjoy cannabis.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy ultimately either of those other drugs. I felt that they always hit me too hard.
Yeah.
And the only with cannabis, the crucial thing is I have a sense of like, oh, I've had enough.
Sure.
And honestly, with the harder stuff,
Enough is never enough.
It's not enough.
Yeah. And the crash from it, especially from cocaine, is the worst for me.
Oh, the worst.
Like
I
so
spent a short time with it, but it was a deep time in the 80s.
Hey.
Because it was just everywhere. Everybody had it. They go, here, try some of this.
Yeah.
So, but I would strongly.
If I had a
not
time
recommend
machine.
I love that Doc now only knows the 80s, 70s weed, but also just cocaine because he doesn't know anything
peak
worse.
cocaine.
Yeah, he doesn't know anything
That was
worse.
peak cocaine.
Yeah, and I don't, and I
Oh,
would
it was
never,
good. Yeah, no.
and I would never know anything better. So how shameful is that?
Well,
How-
without going into detail, I mean, I was getting it from a guy who was getting it strictly
From
from
the-
doctors and nurses.
like the fucking like medical cocaine. God, so this is better than Colombian stuff.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And
La
it was,
cocaína.
it was not uncommon in the early days for physicians to take advantage of it. Now it's like impossible to get it, I guess. But this is a long time ago. The physician, well,
He is Mexican.
he worked in a medical
Listen,
building.
let me
right?
tell
So
you,
the
Chico.
doctors were constantly coming by there every day, and somehow he got into that ring where he just always had something.
Hey, yo.
Why are we talking about this?
I don't know. It just came up.
It did, didn't it?
Right.
I just explained it's not a big.
Oh,
part
we
of
were
my
talking
life.
about Chris Austin.
Since 1990,
Yeah, Chris
it's
Austin.
not a big part of my life.
Hey,
But I'm talking about.
we can
it,
blame
so
this
it
on
made
Chris Austin. This is why.
Well, I mean, the
Doc.
point of this conversation is Chris Austin doesn't do cocaine.
Well, he's a scumbag.
Yeah, but he just drank a lot.
Hey, that's
And I
between you
couldn't.
guys.
I confuse him drinking a lot from him
Doing
being on
cocaine,
cocaine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Because he was always like
On one.
either fucking
Sloppy.
woo
Yeah.
or zim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see him that much where I can vouch for that whole. Stuff.
Well, I worked with him. Me and
I
him
know,
worked
he
like
was your best
side by
friend then.
side. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was my best friend for a minute.
Yeah.
I know.
I love Doc's perspective on. He's just like, I don't know. I need more information. He's like such a good guy. Like he won't talk shit to you during the cameras, but when the cameras turn off, that's a different story.
He's motherfucking Chris Austin. That's why I had to bring it up, Chris.
Chris is a survivor like me.
I keep on fucking pressing my computer button.
Are you on cocaine right now?
We don't do it.
Oh yeah, so 2025 cocaine.
On, you got to be on it.
Yeah, to be on it.
I don't like it. I don't like.
No,
every
no.
time I
It's the
do
only
it,
one I
I'm
preach
like,
against.
this time I'm gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
It
Oh, you're
never happens.
No.
No, this time, no. This time is for reals. I'm gonna have a good time. I
Like
just feel like
I
shit.
think like Doc said, the best time for it was during his time, and the best time to not be on it was the time he stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's he lives. He's only known the pure Snow Whites of the time. You know what I mean?
Yes. You know, there was I used to go to Northridge University, and I drove down whatever street it was, way up north, across the valley. I lived in the valley at the time, North Hollywood. And I drove there every day to Northridge. And one morning I'm driving, and there's like 18 million cop cars.
Get closer. Get closer to Mike.
There's like 18 million cop cars down my familiar route to college. And I found out later that was the day that Richard Pryor burned himself up.
Oh
So
shit.
that's why there were all these medical vehicles and a whole hubbub and camera crews. That was the block he lived on, and it was, far out of Northridge. So, accidental brush with history. Interesting.
How did you start music?
How did I start music? Well, going way, way back, we had an organ in our house, and my father played it not well, but I got lessons on it, and I hated the lessons, but I certainly acquired an early music. I'm talking on 6 years old or something, and then I got into the junior high band, and I played lead trumpet
Wow.
in the marching band. We went to the state fair and everything. And then I met some friends that the kind of friends that your parents say, they ruined you.
Blacks.
So all my real buds.
Oh, the brothers.
Yeah, so we started forming bands, and I mean, at the age of 15, I was booking my own gigs. I'd take a train to some town that had a youth center. I'd walk over there with a tape recorder and say, "Can we get a gig here?" I mean, it was ridiculous. I don't know who taught me to do that. But I was always out
Just
there
hustling
hustling.
from-
It's much
Well,
easier
that's
now
cool.
with the internet. But we didn't have email, so I would just haul in a huge tape recorder with a sample. And a couple of times that worked, a few times. That was back in the days where your parents supported you to the extent that they said, "Stay out till midnight." They didn't get involved in driving us to the gigs. They didn't get involved in setting aside a place or time to rehearse for the boys to rehearse. We kind of had to do all that, and it seems different now, and it's probably better now. But I know when my son came up, I was very interested in how that band worked, and anything I could do to butt in, I was happy to do. And it was good to experience that group dynamic for him, and it's like the current group that I've got now. Delta by the Beach has been together 5 years. We went through a major personnel change last year. We lost the services of Milo Sledge, who's since gone on to great acclaim. We miss him. You'll still find me playing with him once in a while. So we're good buddies, but we replaced him with Otis Bradley, who's actually a visual artist named Ocho Libre. So you can look online. He's got amazing paintings. Kind of a jack of all trades. He's also an
When you
architect.
lose a band member, does that
Well,
does that hurt?
Well, we started the band with Milo and Eddie Lehman, and now I've got Eddie Lehman and Otis.
Does that hurt at all?
Did it hurt? For a minute. Because
Because when we lose cast members, I'm always, no matter
it
who
hurts, it hurts
is,
today.
I sort
I
of
don't know if "hurt's" the right word. I wanted him in the band.
reminisce.
He wanted to do something else, but I don't feel rejected. I always felt respected by Milo and still do. So that separation was especially hard because I had been playing bass, and all of a sudden I was fronting with guitar, which is my natural instrument, so that was all good. But it took
Creation
some-
is like a special thing. That's why,
Hmm?
I believe creation is such a, like, when you create with somebody, it's a situation where you are putting your soul
they're
with them.
they're a part of you forever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
absolutely.
they're truly a part of you forever.
Yeah. But you learn from people too, so even if you do move on, they live on within you in some ways. And certainly as I played more guitar and played the particular songs that Milo had been fronting, I had to play more to the style he had covered it. And while it doesn't copy what he did, he had a way of slashing at chords and stuff that is a little different than what I was doing. But I like to think I've gotten the hang of it to where the songs sound right, and I owe a lot of it to Milo for coming up with some invention on those parts. Certainly owe a lot, even though he's not in the band now. So that's enough about Milo. My buddy Milo.
So what would you say your main, like, inspiration is for this project right here, and where do you draw from? Like, who are the people that you draw from, or bands, or even concepts that you would draw from?
Well, I spent about 15 years being strictly a solo acoustic guitar player, no vocals. And I made like 4 albums, 2 of them Christmas albums. They still sell. Um, but then I switched completely with Delta by the Beach, which came about during COVID. The 3 of us kind of became. Remember, COVID had circles of people that would try not to go outside that circle so they wouldn't infect other people. So we rehearsed a lot. We enjoyed each other's company, and we kind of came up with something that was a good concept. And for me, I thought it was a great concept. There was a lot of things I had always wanted to do that there was room for in that 3-piece setup. Now that we've gone to wait a minute, where were we?
Chris Austin.
I believe cocaine. Go ahead.
Yeah, cocaine and Chris Austin, and all of a sudden we're talking about whatever we're talking about.
Past members of bands.
No.
Yes, past members of bands. So we're talking about Milo again. I
No,
love
we're
Milo.
not.
Let's leave him alone. Come on. Otis is great. He's given us the band has been
Your
really
inspiration
hot. It took about a year
for this project.
It took about a year to work it in, and now we're playing at a level that I can recommend is pretty hot. And it's definitely steered more towards Chicago blues, which is a good thing. People like that. And
What's
like
the difference? Can you tell people
Oh.
that might be at home?
Dude,
listening?
let him tell you.
Isaac's asking
well-
me. He's texting me. What's the difference?
I'll put in a plug for my radio show on K-Hug in Santa Clarita, and also on Caps Radio, KPPQ.
There you go.
It's called Doc's Delta Blues Lounge, and I purposely go through a collection. I must have thousands of recordings of blues, a lot of obscure stuff over the years, because one thing leads to another. I love putting together that radio show. In a big way, that's how I see blues, that there's so much variety in it. There's so many different types, and I don't know where along the line, but there's a few obvious distinctions. Someone like Robert Johnson, they call that country blues. It's like one guy and a guitar, generally an older style. And then duets became popular in the 30s, and the addition of the harmonica was a big deal.
Little
But as
bluegrass.
the Great Migration, which you can look it up, the Great Migration, there was just a lot of movement of workers from Mississippi because the automatic cotton picker had been created, first mechanized one that was functional. So literally everyone was out of a job in the year, and they all went up to Chicago where they were factory jobs. And they brought the blues with them, but they added harmonica. So to answer your question, Chicago blues is definitely characterized by harmonica, where Delta blues, not always. Delta blues a lot of times is droning guitar or singing guy. So there is a difference there, and certainly there's jump blues as an obvious example. There's southern rock blues. So I don't know if everyone else hears that, but part of what turns me on is I got real turned on to some of this great music we're talking about, where the roots come from. It comes from an early exposure to a show on KCLW called The Blues Shack, and I listened to that for about 10 years until it went off the air. And every month I would listen to the show, and I would end up buying 10 CDs, when I could, off of recommendations or things I heard on that show. So I got a big education. I built a big collection. My show is really a pale imitation of what that guy was trying to do, trying to educate a little bit, tell a little bit of the story, give some context. This guy's a country blues player. He was only recorded once in the backwoods of Georgia, if that's, the story. Or guys like Junior Wells that were a big part of developing Chicago blues, along with, of course, Muddy Waters. So the roots are something you can always go back to. I had an early guitar teacher who was somewhat of a master, really, and that was the best advice he gave me. He said the roots are like a bottomless well of inspiration if you just feel it or look at it that way. And, of course, I didn't know exactly what he meant right away. I thought I did. But over the years, it's been so true. If you just go backwards, it's like going to the unmixed version of something. It's like, oh, okay, that was the sentiment they were really trying to convey. And then this guy polished it, and this guy polished it. And down the decades, it gets more and more polished. but it's hard to not get turned on by the real deal because it leaves room for you to polish it more, you know. Which something like "Bright Lights, Big City" is a song that's familiar, but I've evolved to doing my own way of it. My own way of doing it, though I certainly respect the original version. No, now's a good time. So let's change the topic to swag. Swag, we got it.
So what do you got?
I've got, for you guys, I've got for each of you a button that says Delta by the Beach.
Awesome.
That's one thing. And then this cool beer coaster says Delta by the Beach.
Hell yeah.
And this is very rare. There's only a few left. This is the drink mix. This is included on our first album for a cocktail called the Delta by the Beach with tequila.
Ooh.
That sticker.
What are you drinking?
What am I drinking? I'm drinking 7-Up. Okay, now we're getting to the good stuff. All right, so here's a couple. This is kind of like the new logo, more or less, that we're using for the band because it's I don't know how well you can see it, but it's
You got it there.
it's a triangle, therefore a delta. There's a road line going up the middle. It's a highway, so we're on the beach. You see the water at the bottom, and the road leads to presumably the delta in Mississippi because we try to bring the spirit of the delta, but not be afraid to express it as they would express it on the West Coast either. Because I believe in living blues. I don't believe in blues that's museum music. All right, now we're getting to the really good stuff. Okay.
Oh, there's more.
In two different colors, I've
Wait.
got.
There's more.
There's more. If you order now, there are two, not one, but two can openers, a blue one and a red one. Now, which one you prefer, you get them both.
Did they say Delta on the Beach bio?
They say deltabythebeach.com, which happens to
fuck?
be our website.
Yeah.
All right, order now.
And then finally,
Uh-oh.
Finally.
And if you call in the next 10 minutes.
you're never going to see this, so there's a button, which is cool. It's a little tiny 3/4 inch button. Oop, you can put.
Oh, now it's gone.
Now there's one left.
There's only one of these.
Now, there used to be two, and that's rolling around.
But what it is this picture here.
Oh, the Delta.
So there's a sticker, which is new.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah.
There's a glare on it, but it's okay.
Is there a glare?
Now it's good.
Now it's good? Okay.
Yeah.
You see it? See the details? It's got like a Clint Eastwood.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
oh, no.
cigar or something
That,
like that.
that's a Doc Ventura guy right there. Right? Oh.
Yeah. I decided to, my goal was to give enough of these away that one day, the first guy, whoever it is, that comes up and says, "You look like that guy on that sticker."
Oh, there's a sticker
That's
right
my
here.
goal.
Hey, you look like that guy with the sticker in the mail's room, in the mail room, in the men's room.
Yeah, right.
I saw you in the men's room, man.
At the bottom of the bedpan.
You're looking at my
Yeah.
pee-pee.
You're staring at me. You
When
were looking up at me in the men's room.
When you commit yourself to publicity, you commit yourself to some haters. It's just the way it goes.
Oh, I'm just kidding. They wouldn't do that to you, man. I'm just messing around with you.
They're gonna love you.
I know. And then, we haven't talked about it.
Oh no, you got this camera right here, Boom.
So we talked about.
Oh man, this is like Carrot Top. I love it.
Yeah.
Actually, Doc's more funnier than Carrot Top, to be honest.
Ain't lying.
Oh.
Yeah, we informed Doc he can't say Diddy bag anymore.
Yeah, you can't say Diddy bag, and he can't.
So, to continue my soliloquy, this is the one.
Or tequila.
Bad Dream is from the new album. So I'll talk about the first album, and I'll do the COVID routine. So as I was saying, the year of COVID, we all got together, and we, just to keep busy, I knew we wouldn't get any gigs. We made our own gig. We decided to have a podcast, half-hour podcast once a month, and every month it would feature a brand new single that we would release on Spotify. Not only were we releasing them, they were all original, and we were like writing a new song every month, recording it, mixing it, and releasing it. and we did it. You know, we kept on a schedule, and we got 12 songs on it. Finally, we finally ended up with even a Christmas song, and then we put out an album called the Single of the Month. So, in case you wondered why it's called the Single of the Month, even though I just told you, it's called the Single of the Month. It's a compilation of that project, and it's something we're very proud of. And I played the song "Tired of My Luck" comes from that album. But the big story for us has been we went into the studio and we knocked down a bunch of basic tracks in about 6 weeks, and then we spent about 2.5 years doing God knows what. But it sounds good. I'll tell you, man, I can't wait for this album to come out. I just heard a test pressing, actual piece of vinyl, 12-inch, and it was very exciting. It sounded cool. It sounded like a record. It sounded like our mix. But again, that's 12 original songs. Blues rock in nature. I don't know what you call it. There's even a part that sounds like Pink Floyd. But it's cool. This is the cover for it. And then tell me if there's glare. It's called Cold Night, Rainy Day. So it's kind of a bluesy concept. And here we are walking through a storm with one of our members getting electrocuted. So we thought that was dramatic. It's a little dark in this picture. It'll be brighter when we print it out. So we're doing a 12-inch record that's a full album with two sides and 12 cuts. I'm going to have full art, conceptual art, but kind of throwback classic liner notes, notes about who played, lyrics even. And we're looking forward to it being available. Now, we have some assistance in trying to get this out to some people that maybe can help us. And, fingers crossed, everybody's fingers crossed, toes crossed. If we have some luck getting this out to some people that might be able to help us, well, I've never had that before, so that would be wonderful. Actually, I've had a lot of help. I want to thank Filiberto Landeros for getting us started, insisting we come in every week and recording, even though we didn't have a proper space yet. And then I met a vocal producer named Tone Scott, and I didn't know I needed a vocal producer. Honestly, he didn't do anything I wouldn't do except make a couple things better. So even though it was we kind of had done everything, and then we ended up redoing the vocal, which took so long. But it's worth it. You know what? After all this time, it still sounds good. So it really doesn't matter when it comes out. You got to figure that things go on a graph, and to what extent it will succeed. Those two lines have to meet, and time is one of the factors. So maybe if we had released it last year, well, we didn't know this guy. So there's a good example. So delays pay off. Kids, always delay.
And don't do coke.
That's right. Don't do coke, but always delay.
All right, Doc Ventura, thank you so much. Delta by the Beach, check them out. Follow them. Follow my Instagram right there below. I'll put it right there in the bottom of the bottom right third is what they call it in the business. And we will all go follow you, and we will have some videos for the public this next week. Doc Ventura, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Red Light District.
You're welcome.
Oh.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I haven't been here for quite a while. I used to be a part of the crew briefly, and I felt very important here. I loved the way things went down. That's something that's
You were the audio guy, man.
Yeah. No, I was for a while, and but then I started missing because of gigs and stuff, and I know I got irritating.
Well, it was COVID too that sort of stopped everything.
Yeah. It was cool. I mean, things changed, but it's good that I was very, very happy to be invited back.
Well, thank you so much, and we'll be. Well, thank you. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Tell me I'm a dick. Well, kind of.
DeltaByTheBeach.com.